What's up, everyone? Today we're looking at percent increase and decrease. So now percent change is just when you go from one quantity or price to another and you want to know the percent increase or decrease. So obviously a percent increase is something that's grown larger. Percent decrease is something that has been reduced. And how we find the percent change is with this formula where we do the amount of the increase or decrease and we divide it by the original amount. And then we represent that in a percent. So we're going to get a decimal here and we'll move the decimal place 2 places to the right. So if we get 0.24, we move the decimal 2 places to the right to get 24%. Okay. Now let's just jump into an example so I can show you how I apply it. Now, let's say that and we'll just start with numbers. We went from 25 to 49. Now, on the top, we never want a negative. So we're just always going to take the largest number minus the smaller number. And really, your first step should be to see if this was an increase or a decrease. Obviously, or maybe not obviously, it was an increase from 25 to 49, and keep that in mind. And so now back to our formula, we always want a positive on top, so we're always just going to take the biggest minus the smallest. And then we'll divide it by the original. What was the original? 25, because we went from 25 to 49. Now, we'll subtract, and we're going to get 24 over 25, which will get us 0.96 when we divide it in our calculator. And now to show that in a percent, we're going to bring the decimal 2 places to the right, and we're going to get 96%. And the reason why that increase up top comes into play is because we have to label that an increase or decrease. So if you say it right in the beginning, all you have to do is just bring it down. So a 96% increase. Okay, so there's our answer for that first one. Let's take a look at another one. Let's look from 50 to 45. So again, we always want a positive on top. Last time we took the second one minus the first. Now we're going to take the first times the second because we want a positive on top. But again, first step, check if this is increase or decrease. It is from 50 to 45, so it is a decrease. Now we can start working. 50 minus 45. What was our original? It was 50 because we went from 50 to 45. We'll subtract 5 over 50, which is 1 over 10 if we reduce that, and that is just 10%. But if you want to divide it, you'd get 0.1, which is 10%. And was it an increase or decrease? It was a decrease. And that is our answer. Now one common practice, or one thing people do, is they will buy something in bulk, or wholesale is what it's called. And they will mark it up a certain percent so they can make a profit. So like people that sell things from home, like necklaces, they'll buy bulk necklaces for a certain price and then mark them up. So let's say that you're buying an item for $32. And you know that wholesale, which was what the price before it was marked up, equals $25. So you bought it for this price, and the wholesale is 25. So what was the percent change? And it's an increase because wholesale, or the original, is 25. So it's a markup. That's what we call it, as a markup. And so we're going from So first we want a positive on top, so we're going to do 35 minus 25. The original was the wholesale price, which is 25. So we're going to get 7 over 25, which is equal to 0.28, which is equal to 28%. So it was a 28% increase, or usually with prices, we may be able to say markup. It doesn't matter. Usually prices, you can say markup or increase. I'm just going to say markup because we said increase before. So this is 28% markup. Now, places like one of my favorite stores, TJ Maxx, because cheap, 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 they mark their prices down. And just an example here, I went there last week and got some dog treats and on their price tags, they always say compare at. So I bought them for $2.99, and on the price tag it says compare at $6, which means that at other stores you're going to get it for $6. So let's check what the markdown is. Now 1 cent isn't going to make a huge difference, so let's just turn this into $3. So let's see what the markdown was, or the decrease. So I'm right over here that we're decreasing. If it loads. Okay. So with our formula, which was the percent, or the amount change, the amount of increase or decrease over the original amount. And sorry, I read my price tag wrong, and this was compare it $8, not 6. So I'm going to switch this to 8, thanks to erase. Come on. Sorry, that's a terrible 8, but as you can see, it's $8. So, the amount increase and decrease, as you can see, 8 minus 3, because we want a positive on top, over the original. Compare at is the original, so $8. So we're going to get 5 over 8. Oh man, sorry about that, it's being slow. And that equals, when you divide it out, 0.625, which equals 62.5% whenever I move that decimal place 2 places to the right. Okay? And what was it increase or decrease? It was decreasing, or since we're dealing with price, we can probably call it a markdown. So that's how we can use percents with percent increase and decrease. So I hope that those examples covered enough for you to do any assignment you're doing with it. If you have any other questions, comments, or requests, just leave them in the comment section or stop by the website. And thank you for watching.